So last session we talked about Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam's patience in dealing with Yusuf alayhi salam being taken away from him. So now we shift the story back to Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, وَجَاءَتْ سَيَّارَةٌ, and a caravan came, فَأَرْسَلُوا وَارِدَهُمْ فَأَدْلَى دَلْوَهُ, and there came to them a company of travelers, and they sent their water drawer, the person who takes it and he lets down his bucket. قَالَ يَا بُشْرَى هَذَا غُلَامٌ, oh good news, here is a boy, وَأَسَرُّوهُ بِضَاعَةٌ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ. And they concealed him, taking him as merchandise, meaning they kidnapped him pretty much, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knowing what they did. Sayyara means like it's a type of caravan or something that's traveling from one location to another. And that's why in Arabic nowadays we call our car a sayyara, because it takes you from one place to another. Sara yasiru, right? Siru fil ardi, travel throughout the land. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so there's different types of travel as well. So you have safar, okay? لإلاف قريش إلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف, رحلة, a journey or a long caravan also. So this is a rest stop area like we mentioned before, and they set down their bucket and they come out of it, a boy comes out of it. In another recitation of the qira'at, the verse here is bushraya, my bushra, meaning my good news. Because this person, they find a young boy, maybe like 8 to 10 years old for instance. We don't know the exact number, but around that you could say, probably. Why is this good news? Because the most prized possessions of their time were young servants, young male servants. Long life ahead of them, they're man, so they can go out and they can do a lot of work, right? A lot of physical labor, more farming, more labor, more money, right? So for them, it's like a free slave, right? And these are the types of slaves that were sold on the market for high prices, for high dollar bills, okay? What's interesting is they take him and they smuggle him. So what kind of people are these? Are these good people? Right? Oh, what are you doing here? Why is this kid here? Where's your family? How can I help you get back to your family? Etc., etc. None of that is going on. Like, lucky me, today's my lucky day. I found like $100 bill on the floor, right? And for them, that's what they did. Lucky me, I found like, a lot of free money right now. And one of the worst people who will be punished is the person who takes a free person and turns them into slaves. And that's why our Sharia actually came to abolish and to free people from slavery. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, we'll just cover a couple of verses tonight, وَشَرَوْهُ بِثَمَنٍ بَخْسٍ, and they sold him for a reduced price. دَرَاهِمَ مَعْدُودَةً وَكَانُوا فِيهِ مِنَ الزَّاهِدِينَ, a few dirhams, and they were concerning him those who were content with little. The word bakhs in Arabic means like, so in English when we'll talk about business, you talk about P&L statements, right? Profits and loss statements. The word bakhs in Arabic means loss. They sold him for a loss, which is interesting because he was free. So how could he be a loss? So he could be a loss from one of two ways. Number one, no matter how much a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sold for, it's never going to be enough. Because the prophets are priceless, right? So when you look at the value of the person, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam is not like anybody else. Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam is one of the greatest people that have ever walked on the face of this earth. So no matter how much millions of dollars, it doesn't matter. His value, especially in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can't compare. The second thing we take from here is what we call, what's it called? What's the business term for it called when you sell something, but you could have gotten more for it. I forget the term. It's trying to come to me. But they sold him for a few dirhams, but they could have gotten more. They could have got, let's say, like 1,000, but they got, for instance, some of the narrations say 20 dirhams. Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah, in his tafsir, he narrates that Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu says that he was sold for 20 dirhams. Okay, that's not a lot of money. And they could have sold him for a lot more, actually. So the question is, they know the value, right? When they took him, they said, good news, lucky me. Why didn't they sell him for more? You guys know, like here in America, like things fall off the back of the truck. You know what I'm talking about? What does it mean something falls off the back of the truck? The brother's nodding, yeah. What does it mean? Something falls off the back of a truck. Finders, keepers. Something falls off the back of the truck. You've ever been to walking in New York City, right? The streets. Someone's like, hey, come here, I got this Rolex for you. Huh? What's that? Is it real? It's real cheap, right? I know that much, right? Something falls off the back of the truck, stolen merchandise. Are they going to sell it for what normally it should go for in the market? No. They have to sell it quickly, and they have to sell it fast and for cheap, right? You know, if you're real estate, they sell, you can buy something fast, good, or cheap, and you pick two of the three. So when you're selling stolen goods, it's fast and it's cheap, right? Okay? Why? Why shouldn't they try to squeeze every single dollar out of it? Let's say if you actually went and invested in something, when you sell it, you're going to try to make as much profit as you can before you let go, because you're the one that put in the money, the initial investment, and you want to increase the amount of percentage you make from it, right? For them, this is just free money. So whatever they can get for them, first couple offers, boom, take it, let's go. Let's get out of here. Before anybody realizes what happened, right? Before news spreads, before he's starting to tell people, I'm not actually a slave, I was kidnapped, right? Okay? By the way, it's interesting. In the biblical version of the story, you know, Bible, anyone ever read like more than just a few chapters of the Bible? Just out of curiosity. It's very interesting, okay? I'm not going to go too much into it, but if you read this story and then a couple chapters after it, subhanAllah, you can tell the difference between revelation that's corrupted versus revelation that's uncorrupted. But anyways, in this story actually, in the Bible, it's his brothers who actually sell him into slavery and not the caravan. Just an interesting side note. But regardless, the last question we ask ourselves before we wrap up, as it's getting late, why didn't Yusuf alayhi salam fight back? Right now, if someone is kidnapped and taking, right, one of you guys, may Allah protect us all and your children, ameen. But if someone comes and you're walking around in the mall and someone grabs you and takes you, what's the first thing you're going to do? Yeah, scream, hey, what's going on? Right? Maybe get your cell phone out. MashaAllah, everyone's got a cell phone these days. Call 911 or something. Why didn't Yusuf alayhi salam do the same thing? People are taking him, what is going on? Yeah. What happens if he's like, hey, I'm not stolen, send me back to my family, and he sends back to his family, right? The brothers come back to Yaqub alayhi salam with the story that the wolf killed Yusuf, and all of a sudden Yusuf, I'm home. Now what's going to happen to all his brothers? Now they're going to really try to kill him, right? You have another thing? That's you. Good. So he also had the dream before. He knows what's going to happen is not going to be bad. He knows that something else is unraveling, something's unwrapping, right? Something's unfolding, and there's going to be good at the end of it, right? Also, when you're in the bottom of a well, you just get out as soon as you can and you take the first person that helps you, you know? So you're not going to sit there and complain too much. But, khair inshallah. So these are some of the lessons we can take from here, right? And some of the knowledge that's extracted that we take from these verses. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in knowledge of the Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who act upon the information we learn. Allahumma alimna ma yanfa'una wa anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa zidna ilma. Wa salli Allahumma barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa jazakumullahu khairan wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. subhanAllah.
Why did you say he would have to fight back?
Because if he fights back, where's he gonna go? They're gonna send him back home.
I see.
He goes back home, what's his brother's gonna do?
Okay.
Kill him for real.
Okay.